Are you wondering what the traditional wedding etiquette is? And all of that jargon that comes along with weddings that most people don't really know, but it seems to happen at every single wedding you go to, then you're in the right place. I'm Georgia McGilly from Georgia Best Photography, and I am a wedding photographer, and this channel is purely for you guys to give you guys wedding planning tips, advice and inspiration. Okay, so one of the first traditions that a lot of people know is wearing white. And we've got to remember with all of these traditions, you don't have to stick to them, but a lot of people like to stick to the kind of traditional wedding etiquette things. So wearing white is a symbol of purity. A lot of people think it's a symbol of virginity. It's not, it's just a symbol of purity. So as the bride walks down that aisle in her wedding dress that's white, it symbolizes her purity and her love for her husband. Number 2, who pays for the wedding? So traditionally, the wedding cost is usually split between the bride's parents and the groom himself. And obviously, nowadays it can be split between anyone. The couple can pay for it themselves. Both parents might chip in, different family members might help out. But traditionally, wedding etiquette says that the bride's parents pay for the majority of the wedding and then the groom will pay for stuff himself as well. Traditionally, the bride's parents will pay for the reception, so the whole reception including the cake, things like the photography, the bride's dress, the bridesmaids' dresses, all those sorts of things. And then traditionally the groom would sort out the ceremony, maybe the honeymoon, and then things like the buttonholes and then the bride's bouquet herself, because that would be his gift to her. So that's traditional wedding etiquette for who pays for what. Number 3, who makes the speeches? So again, traditionally we start off with the bride's father starting off the speeches, then the groom will do his speech, and then the best man. Again, this can be completely changed, but wedding etiquette says that's the order and those are the people who are meant to speak. And each kind of person tends to have something traditionally that they should be talking about or should be thanking people for. So the groom's job is usually to thank everybody. The best man's job is to make sure he mentions the bridesmaids and says how beautiful they are. There's quite a few different things like that. So go ahead, if you want to find out any more about that, about what people should say in their speeches, let me know and I'd be happy to do a video for you, on that for you guys as well. Number 4, ceremony seating. So traditionally you'd have the bride's family on the left and the groom's family on the right, but obviously with modern day weddings, different kinds of weddings, a lot of kind of a thing that people like to put is just a little sign that says pick a seat, not a side. So that's an option for you. You could go for the traditional brides on the family on the left, grooms on the right, or you could go for picking a seat, not a side. Number 5, who walks the bride down the aisle? So traditionally, as most of you will know, the father of the bride will walk the bride down the aisle. If the father of the bride isn't available for whatever reason, then usually somebody like a brother or an uncle is traditionally who you choose. And the bride always walks on the left of the escort, so that traditionally the escort could draw his sword with his right hand so that he could protect her. And so that's kind of the traditional way of walking down the aisle. Again, modern day, you can mix it up. You could have a sister, a mum, anybody walk you down the aisle, but that is the traditional wedding etiquette. Okay, number 6, reception seating. So when you're doing your seating plan, traditionally you'd have a long table, which is the head table. Bride and groom would be in the center. Then you'd have the bride's parents either side of them. Then you'd have the groom's parents either side. And then you'd decide whether you have like the best man, maid of honor, those sort of people up at that top table with you. And generally you'd have the oldest sort of members of your family that are close, like grandparents and things, on tables that are very close to that top table as well. Okay, number 7, bar etiquette. So traditionally, a couple would provide, or the people at whoever's paying for the wedding would provide wine on the table and something for the toast, whether it's champagne, prosecco, all that sort of thing. But then nowadays you don't have to provide a free bar. It's just a nice touch if you do that. So people expect when they turn up to weddings to have to pay for their drinks outside of the wine or the champagne that's for the toasts. Okay, the 8th one is the gift list, and most people want to be able to buy a gift for the couple who are getting married. So a really simple way of doing that is having a gift list and including it in your invitations so that people can just go on there, usually online now, and check it out. If you do a brick and mortar type of gift list, then you've got to make sure that it's a shop that's all the country wide so that people are able to go into that store and pick something off it. I've also got another video that talks about all the different sorts of places that you could have your wedding gift list or registry at. So there you go. That is just some traditional wedding etiquette for brides and grooms. If you want to find out a bit more about what's kind of bridesmaids' duties or what's the best man's duties traditionally, then go ahead and put in the comments below, and I will be sure to do a video on that very, very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you don't forget to download your free wedding planning checklist and guide that is in the link in the description. If you enjoyed my photography and me talking, I'm a wedding photographer too, so go ahead and check me out on my social media, which are also in the description, and make sure you hit subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys really soon.